This conference will now be
We'd like
recorded.
to start the meeting off. Uh, we'll start with the meeting compliance notice. Here we go. By participating in this meeting, you agree to the possible use of AI scribe tools and recordings. Please do not share any sensitive information, personal information that you would not want transcribed. As industry professionals, we must adhere to antitrust laws. These laws promote fair competition, prohibit practices that restrain trade. Please avoid discussing topics like price fixing, market division, anti-competitive behaviors. Thank you. Let's continue with the meeting here. Our vision, mission, and goals. Our vision is to represent how homes are designed in America. Our mission is to build residential design profession one designer at a time. Our goal is to seek participation, respect people, deliver quality, empower everyone, educate each other, contribute to the community, and enjoy what we do. I did say this yesterday during the board meeting. Please think about these things. These are things that the group has decided are important to us, and I hope you bring them into your everyday business. Purpose of this meeting is to update members and associates' activities, future plans, and financial status, introducing our incoming officers and board members, and provide a forum for questions and answers, raise concerns. If you have any ideas, we will continue on with the staff reports, which will be the financial reports and operational reports with Steve Nickel. Good morning. A couple announcements before I get started, and that is that, damn, that's a bright light. We have people that are attending online, so in order for them to hear your questions, we have what's called the catch box. It's like a beach ball, and I'm going to throw it at you when you raise your hand. Be ready to catch it. It's a lot of fun, especially when we have like coffee cups and stuff sitting on the table. But so far, we've done this for what, 3 or 4 conferences, and we have not had an incident yet. No pressure, just saying. We haven't had any incidents. So raise your hand. We'll throw you the catch box, and that way you can ask your question and the people online can hear. Also, I'm going to show you a lot of numbers. A lot of them are kind of the same numbers, just on different reports. I have all of them up here on this table. So you will not interrupt me if you want to get a copy of these financials that I'm going to show on the screen, and you're coming up and getting all the paperwork. I just didn't have enough time to pass them all out to you in advance. So that's the end of my announcements. I'll go ahead and get started. Oh, that seems kind of blurry, doesn't it? There we go. That's better. Our current bank assets are $47,648. That's down about, I can't do math in my head, but about $30-some thousand over 2 years ago. And the reason for that is 2 years ago, or in the last 24 months, we've spent a little bit, somewhere between $40,000 and $45,000 for our second job analysis. The job analysis is a research study of our industry to find out what knowledge areas and what kind of tasks we need to be testing on for CPBDs in our exam. And our first one was in 2015. It was time to do another one. And so that money gets put in a savings account. It's the second one on the line, as the second line item, number 4452. No, I'm sorry. The fourth one down, number 3692. It's at $7,000 now. 2 years ago, you can see that it was at $23,000. That was the second half of our payment The other 23,000 came out the year before that's not on the list. So what I'm trying to say, I guess, is that there's a big chunk of, we've dropped our cash on hand by 50%, but that's because $40,000 got invested into our exam, which is a regularly scheduled item. So now what we do is we take the profits every time we offer an exam, which is about $230. And then that money then gets put in the savings account. And hopefully in the next 7 or 8 years, we're back up to 40-some thousand dollars and we have the money to do another job analysis if we continue to go down the path of international certification standards. Right now, like I said, that account has about $7,000 in it. It should have about 10, according to the time schedule that we have laid out. And so this next fiscal year, the board will have the decision of, whether we go ahead and just take $3,000 out of the general funds and catch up the savings, or hopefully we increase the number of exam sales. That's the only reason why, is that we based all that scheduled out based on the average number of exams we give each year. So that's really the most important part of that area there in the top part of our cash on hand. Our CDs, that's basically, they've been, we've got one that has gone from 20,000 down to 15,000. And that's because we borrowed $5,000 along the way this last year to pay cash or pay payroll one week. And the other one that shows a substantial difference, the CDs are about the same. We get like 0.5% of interest. I should just reconcile once a year, because every month I'm reconciling like 2 pennies is what gets added. So possibly this year we'll have the opportunity to see what kind of other investments that can be made that meet our bylaws. But in the meantime, CDs are what we've invested in. And that's about it. We've got a huge amount of equity that we've lost over the last couple of years. We have been struggling financially. There was a plan that was put in place about 6 months ago with the help of our finance committee. And 6 months ago, we were actually $21,000 in debt and was paying interest on that money. So not only were we borrowing from ourselves to pay payroll, but we were borrowing to pay vendors as well. So that has been, as of June 30th, the end of our fiscal year, that debt has been paid. And so using the same plan that we've had for the last 6 months, we're going forward for the next 6 months with the goal of having $20,000 in surplus that we can then start adding to the savings accounts that have been borrowed from over the last few years. The next report, any questions on that report from anybody? Oh, hands are up. Oh, how do baseball players do this? Ready?
My question is this: if you're only getting 0.5% of interest on your CDs, I think you can do better than that. We have some CDs that we're making 3.5%, 4% on, and it seems like that's not a good place to have our money.
It's not a good place, and if you have any information, then please get it with the board. But this particular meeting is not a good time to go into like details on where we can do better. I just know we can, and anybody has any information, get with your president or vice presidents or anybody on the board, and let's do it, because I'm tired of spending time. You spend more time on my time to reconcile the account than we make in interest.
Okay, thank you.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. Next report. This is the statement of activity. It's what we bring in revenue and what we spend in expenses throughout the last 12 months. Our revenue was 424,742. You'll see when I get to the operations report that we took a substantial drop, an unusually drop in membership compared to the last couple of years. And that reflects in the amount of dues that are paid. But we weren't too far off of last year regardless. And that was partly because of additional income that we got from the conference, as well as ARDA always seems to do well for us. And I have a really interesting report to show you how well ARDA actually does. Our expenses were a little bit more, about 14,000. However, remember that $22,000 or $23,000 that got taken out of the certification savings, and well, that's reflected in our certification expenditures. So and that money was technically spent in the prior fiscal year and was depreciated this year. So it was taken off the books the next fiscal year. So how we made it, how we were able to survive, was the fact that we didn't actually spend $15,000 more than we took in. This past year, I started, because we're on what's called the accrual method. And so I started keeping just a cash accounting, like a separate book, not like a separate book like we're hiding money, but a separate book to keep track of, this is how many deposits went into the bank in this month, and this is how many checks and withdrawals were made that month. And we actually came out $3,000 or $4,000 ahead. We collected more money, literally, than we spent. But the way the bookkeeping shows and the stuff that gets spent in the prior fiscal year, but then depreciate or amortized out over the next year, shows up in this report. So I'm not an accountant, but hopefully that made sense, that explanation. So, and the other good thing is that it's like $60,000 better than we did last year, regardless of the method of accounting. And so we still have a trend of the negatives. And like I say, the finance committee, myself, the board, we've all worked on a plan. I have cut back. I thought I cut back my hours. Apparently, I was just working more hours than I thought once I started keeping track of my time. And I've also taken a reduction in pay temporarily, at least through the end of this year anyway, in order to help get things back on track financially for the organization and start showing some positive numbers at the end of the year. This report was the interesting one that I shared with you. Jack Butler, our incoming internal vice president, current external vice president, suggested that we do like a horizontal type presentation, which shows all the different functions of the AIBD, where the money comes in and where it goes out. And so basically, this would be like in your business if you broke up each one of your individual projects in a horizontal manner and showed how much money you got paid to design the building and then how much it cost you to actually produce that design. So our number one, and it makes sense because technically we are a membership organization, but our number one profit generator is membership. $86,000, $227,000 in revenue, $140,000. So it's almost a 50% margin for what we, so when Kevin Holdridge said 10 years ago, whatever the question is, the answer is membership, it's still true today. Our second profit generator is the awards program, 42,600 in revenue, 16,000. So that's like 60-some% profit margin. If only we could have an awards program every quarter. But I think you guys would it would be the same number of entries. We would just spread them out over the year. I know, you can't fool me. Run them, balls. You're supposed to throw it.
I just had a quick question. You're showing $13,000 in miscellaneous revenue this year, and it was $3,000 last year. Is there something else we did to generate the extra 10 grand?
I'm sorry. What is that on this report or the prior report?
On the prior report.
Okay, hang on. I still have that open. All right. Now that I can see the numbers, please repeat the question.
The miscellaneous revenue, 13,000 last year was 3. Did we do something to generate an extra $10,000?
Oh, yes, that's a good question. There were 2 programs that were run by the board this last year. One started with Larry at the Asheville convention, and he called it the Asheville Challenge, and that was to add money to the certification savings, and that raised about $4,000. Then there was a sponsorship that AIBD purchased for NAHB. The new incoming chairman, Bill Evans, is from here in Ohio, and he's been a great supporter of AIBD over the years. Ohio is one of our most, participatory states, and so when they approached us, they wanted $5,000, I think it was, for the.
Started out at 3, but it didn't give you very much. The extra 2,000, it really made a difference.
So it was $5,000 that we committed to as a sponsorship for an event to kick off IBS. And then what we did was the same thing we did with the Asheville Challenge, is we just reached out to the membership and said, hey, and we more or less sold tickets to the event. And we raised all but I think $700 of it. So it's like $4,300. So that's it. Plus there's always something that comes in that you just can't attribute to any of the other programs. And then so the average is probably, like it is each year, $3,000 or $4,000 of just ancillary income. And I think also if there's any books that we sell or any products, logo products, that gets put into the other income.
And just to follow up on that miscellaneous, this year we're calling it the Cleveland Challenge. So our goal was 50,000. We're a little short. So, just keep that in mind. Questions?
Owens, thank you.
Hello. I was trying to tell you up here.
I'll go to enough meetings that I'll learn it eventually.
I just let it drop because I couldn't get into it.
The next thing that shows profit is interest, $184. So it could be that the CDs, it's the savings accounts that are probably really bad. The CDs might be a little more than a few cents a month, but we totaled $184. The rest is how much it costs us to be able to provide certification, let's say, $29,000. But again, $22,000 of that is money that was spent towards that job analysis. So next year, we may still be upside down, but it won't be that much. Our committees and councils cost us about $2,500 a year. Our conference, we're getting better at those. Those used to cost us lots of tens of thousands a year. But now we were just at $2,500 for this last one. I think we're going to be pretty close to about the same. And for this year, $14,000 spent on education. That kind of education is not the conference education, but the on-demand videos, the webinars, anything we do that actually produces education outside of the conferences is what that category is. And we probably we spent 4.8% of our time producing education. And my guess is it's because this past year, Garrett built, we used, you've probably gone to them. You go to like YouTube and you watch a video, or you go to Vimeo, or there's a number of different platforms that people put their education on, and you pay like, $1,000 to $2,000 a year just to be able to host videos on educational platforms. But Garrett built our own educational platform that we own, that you can sign in as a member, and it knows you're a member because it's the same database and doesn't charge you the full price for the education. So the labor this year was probably heavier than it normally is. And what we're doing is we're taking the time along the bottom. That last row is the staff time, a total of 5,889 hours at the end of the year. And so they keep track of which projects they're working on. And so we attributed all of our administrative costs and all of our general office costs to these programs using the percentage of time that was spent. So if we spent 4.8% time on education, then 4.8% of all of our office expenses and administrative expenses went towards that particular program. Now, it's not totally accurate, because there may be some things like we just lump software or subscriptions into a lump, one line item in our budget. But it could be that some of those subscriptions actually go towards delivering our education. We don't go to the detail of breaking that out, I don't think. It's not perfect, but it's reasonably close. And then this last, oh no, I could have swore I added it. I can get to it. So the last report is the proposed budget, which was formally approved. It was presented to the board July 1st and was formally approved yesterday. It's the document that looks like this if you want to come up and get it afterwards. What we're proposing is basically mirroring what we did this year for the next 12 months as far as the aspect of expenses. When it comes to revenue, that's like throwing darts at the board. We do the best we can. Our attendance for this particular event is down about 30 people. Our ARDA, well, I won't be a spoiler alert, but it was down a little bit too. And that's all a relationship to the fact that we went from 1,200 members last year to about 900 members this year. So whatever you do as an organization, we have thousands of people out there that open our emails, but we only have 900 that are loyal members. And from that group, only a certain percentage are going to participate in our education, in our conferences, in our ARDA program. So again, that question is, whatever the question is, the answer is membership. But we're proposing a balanced budget of $404,500, which is about $18,000 less than what we budgeted last year, and $35,000 less than what we spent. And I think that covers the financials. Any questions from anyone? Oh, you're in charge. Here.
Let me move the chair.
Just looking at the statement of activity, and it looks like advertising and marketing were our two biggest losers at about $90,000 this year. With advertising and marketing being so high and membership declining, are we looking at anything to bolster our advertising and marketing to make, as a business owner, you want your marketing and advertising money to $1 in, $2 or $3 out? It looks like we're going in the opposite direction. Any movement on alternate ways to do this?
Well, there's a difference between the advertising and then over to the right, marketing. The marketing is what we spend to promote you guys and to promote ourselves and try to grow membership. The time we spend on social media and stuff like that would be marketing. Advertising, we actually sell advertising. We sell advertising for our website. We hope to sell advertising for our magazine. We sell advertising for the Monday Minute. I think we have 4 advertisers right now. We're totally booked up. So there's a revenue that comes in, total of $7,000 this past 12 months. And half of that came in the last quarter of the year. So the advertising seems to be doing well right now. We need to offset that with expenses. It doesn't have to be that much, but we need to show a loss, because as a nonprofit, when you sell advertising, that is actual taxable income.
All right, thanks.
Oh, so our time spent too, because it's coming from our website and it's coming from our Monday Minute. All the time that's spent on those 2 items, that gets attributed to the advertising. It's the offset the income for the advertising. And those are 2 very highly laborious items.
You got an email. Okay. Get my vision back.
Yes, my question is on the advertising, Steve. What do we charge for the advertising or parts of, say, the Monday morning minutes and everything else? What kind of cost are we looking at to do that? Well, how much does it cost if I wanted to advertise on Monday morning? What's my cost?
That's a good question, and I couldn't answer it. We have a link you can go to, but I'm guessing it's $1,600 a quarter and up, maybe. I don't know, because we don't actually sell the advertising. We contract that out to Association Revenue Partners for the Monday Minute, and then we contract out the advertising to Multiview for our website. So they're the ones who actually sell the advertising, and then we get a 40% cut.
Any other questions? I'll hand off.
Maybe not the right place, but so he used someone else to do our advertising, sell our advertising. What does it cost us to use them?
It costs us nothing. They pay us 40% of what they sell.
So it costs us nothing to utilize their services.
That's how the revenue comes in.
Okay.
All the expenses are our time spent producing the items that the advertising is presented in.
Anyone else? My arm's loosening up.
And we actually have 2 of these here. If somebody else wants to volunteer to be a.
So back to Kevin's question, and maybe this will come up in the membership report, but how are we still spending the same money and we're losing 25% of our membership? What are we doing differently?
How? I don't understand the question.
Well, we haven't reduced the money we're spending on marketing and on, well, so the advertising thing, we had a line item for advertising, right?
Correct.
Is that just an income item, or was there an outgo for that?
Both.
Okay.
The advertising is not us advertising. That's in the marketing. We sell advertising.
Right. So
That's a project for us.
so my question is, how are we marketing for new members, and how did we fail? I mean, you don't lose 25% of your members without changing something. So we change.
We advertise, I mean, we market with a website. We market through social media. We market with emails, an email campaign, which I have a report for that as well. We use the same methods this last 12 months that we were using for the 12 months prior. We have an outreach committee that is basically our marketing committee. So I can't answer why. I'm sure there's probably a number of little reasons why. An Iran war, you know, tariffs, cost of interest, or not interest, but inflation going up, members just not paying dues. I can't put my finger on it.
Yeah.
But we're doing the exact same things that we've been doing for the last 2 or 3 years. And last year it might be, and we're a staff. All we do is what you tell us to do. So tell us what to do. But not right now. I'm saying metaphorically, get involved, be a part of our committees, and counsel our board. And if you're gonna, please pay attention.
I'm not watching.
No, no. Oh, I'm sorry.
False alarm.
False alarm. Hopefully you guys can work it out when we're here, but we have, you know, a new board, a new council. We have new ideas. So bring them up. Your arms caught there.
I'm having trouble grasping this. So we've lost 300 members, 25% of our membership.
I don't know. Let's get to that report and talk about numbers.
Okay. I just,
unless it's
25% of your membership, somebody's making some phone calls.
that's what Raven does. And she's just hearing that people don't have the money to pay $315. That's the report I get. But yes, there could be exit surveys. There could be a number of things. We can only do so much, and our hours are getting cut back. So we're going to need volunteers to help jump in and pick up the slack on a lot of this stuff. And it needs to be done timely, because it's not like the staff can, if you come up with an idea, we can't implement it tomorrow. Sometimes it takes weeks. So we have to think ahead. Just a heads up to our incoming committee chairs out there for that. Operations report. So in the last 12 months, we've lowered LMS costs by switching to a WordPress plugin, saving $500 a year, and streamlining the member login access. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but that's the educational program, learning management system is LMS. That's what Garrett was working on to make it a better user experience for our members going in to get education. And is Curtis Showmaker here? Yeah, I was afraid he wasn't going to make it. I only asked, I thought he was coming. Yeah, because we get notifications every time somebody completes a course. Reduced suspensions. Rusty worked with one of our NCBDC committees and targeted recertification efforts, decreasing our suspended CPBDs from 107 to 85. Centralized member support. We launched AIBD.org/support to efficiently track and manage support tickets. We were spending a huge amount of time just chasing emails and stuff on Basecamp, which is our management software. And so Garrett made it to where if you have any kind of problem, idea, suggestion, thing that needs to be done, something you see on our website that needs fixed, it's AIBD.org/support. We can start a ticket. It gets put in the right department of who needs to take care of it. emails are automatically sent out. It's all through our website, just like everything else we're building, so that everything's in one place and the communications are seamless. Integrated web and CRM systems. That's our, I think I wrote CRM, I meant CEU systems. We were using another platform called MyCE app. It was costing us a couple $1,000s a year. And you had to have a different username and password outside of your AIBD login to go in and upload your CEs. All of that now is owned by us. Garrett has built a platform inside of our website. You just log into your membership account, and if you're a CPBD, it'll show up. If you're not a CPBD or not a CPBD yet, that won't show up in your member account. So also part of that was taking 17,000 hours of CE credits. And I don't even know if that was 17,000 hours. It was 17,000 lines of data. So it was probably more than 17,000 hours that had to be integrated from the old system into the new. That was all done this year. Automated member outreach. This last quarter, Raven has been working on a series of emails that when we get a new prospect, somebody that signs up for our emails, there's a series of automated emails that then follow up to make sure that they're, having a good experience, but also letting them know that membership is what we're here for. The same thing for renewals. When people get to a certain point and renewal is X number of days away, she's working on creating or has created, I'm not exactly sure. I haven't been able to pay attention for the last couple of weeks. An automated system to make sure that everybody knows when the deadlines are coming. Updated member directory. We released a new, and this is probably the most recent thing, we released a new interactive roster with profiles and quick view avatars. You have the ability to go into your profile, your AIBD account, make sure that your address is up to date, because people can search for you by zip code or by state. Many of you don't even have an address on file. We always have to depend on those emails that go out to remind you it's time to renew. And a lot of you, we get probably a dozen, maybe a half dozen of mailings that return to us every month. That the mailing, your addresses aren't any good. But that's just me preaching to you. The good side of that is that you can put up your headshot, you can put up a company logo, you can make sure that your website is being promoted. You can even put up a bio or some form of short description of your company. So as we work to gain interest and drive traffic to that directory, then that's a better presentation for you. It's like your own little mini website that people, and before they searched for you and it just gave a list of names and phone numbers and email addresses. Now it's more interactive and more informational, and it looks prettier. Operational team evaluation or evolution, transitioning hourly staff time tracking, shifting staff roles, and adjusting board meeting agendas for monthly membership feedback. That's just a quick synopsis of, we are all trying to analyze what we do. Like I mentioned, we've cut back hours. I have substantially cut back my hours and gone hourly instead of salary. Our roles are changing in the aspect of, we're going to need to count on more committees doing work, but not necessarily like the nuts and bolts work, but we have a lot of committees that just as a chairman, and you guys need to be helping those chair people. That's all I can say. And then as far as the member feedback, we adjusted the board agenda this year to put members first, literally. So after we open the meeting and we go through our antitrust statements and take a roll, the first thing on the agenda is the member feedback. We, the staff has a spot where we can upload anything you say to us, anything that comes into that support ticket system that is some form of a comment, either good or bad. We are now passing that on to the board on a monthly basis. But it's also an opportunity for you to come to a board meeting and voice your concerns personally. Every first Wednesday of the month, I think they used to be 4 o'clock, but did I read that we're changing it to 2 o'clock going forward, Brandon? No. It's still 4 o'clock on the first Tuesday of the month. And the link is in every Monday Minute. That's one part of the Monday Minute that doesn't change. So that's it for that. Member growth. Get ready for Mr. Wright's question. Oh, I'm sorry.
I have a question on going back to the committees. And so is the internal vice president responsible for the committee's performance? Or who is actually monitoring the committees now for responsibility?
It should be the president. Ted's been attending almost every committee meeting.
Okay. So the people, I know we're a volunteer organization, always have been, but as we get into more tedious times, are we looking at asking the committee chairs to be more responsible and be able to project or provide something that's actually been done? I know that from the past. There have been a lot of times, because we're volunteers, people sit on committees and nothing really gets done. And then of course, when we get into all these meetings, people have lots of questions. And so how can we possibly look at getting more done with committees? You know, I don't know if it's more people or asking other people to co-chair, but as we grow or try to grow, we're going to have people who are actually stepping up. We just can't have people who sit
Ted, where's John?
You know, in a position. So I'm just kind of asking the question, you know, what can we look at to help the committees do a better job? So that's a question. You know, is something being looked at in that respect?
From my observation, many years of observation, 50% of our industry works by themselves. And I forget what number of the people on our board works by themselves, but that usually follows suit of being 50% or more of our board. Most of your committee chairs come from the board, and the committees for the council come from the council. People that work by themselves tend to rather work by themselves. That's why sometimes they don't grow the committee. And when they have people, they don't delegate because they're not delegators. We've tried to do, you know, educational programs that cost money, but trying to get our industry to evolve into being doers in that sense has been a challenge forever. And I understand it, because it's like we have a mindset that I can do it faster myself. But, and I don't know if he's online today, but the one example that we have this year is Daniel Aponte. We did what we call micro volunteers. And that seems to be pretty successful, because when people are working by themselves, they don't have a lot of time to volunteer too. And so we'll have little projects, and that's what we try to condition our chair people to do, is to like come up with a project that we can send out and ask for volunteers for and work on it for like a month. Or sometimes it's just one day. In this case here, it was that recertification effort, because we had 100 and some people that were suspended. And Daniel volunteered for that email, ended up becoming a part of the recertification committee. And now he's put in his application and got approved yesterday for the council. So that's where the committees aren't just a vehicle of getting things done or ideas generated. They're a vehicle for creating people that are going to run the organization in the future. And when we have a bunch of committees that just have one person on it, you just keep passing the hat around to the same people year after year.
So if I'm going to follow up on that though, he was talking about committees and people. Why is it that you have to be a board member to be on a committee? So you're not going to get anyone to volunteer if they're not a board member. And last year we heard all about volunteering, and now I can't volunteer because I'm not on the board.
No, you can.
I can't be on a committee.
No, that's not true.
Yeah.
You've been on a committee.
Huh?
It's just that
Oh, not
you've been
on
on
committees.
the conference committee. The conference committee is a bylaws mandated committee, and it's structured to be only board members because that committee discusses finances, they set rates, they collect money, they sign contracts.
But if you have certain people just signing the contracts, and if your financials is open to the whole association, it doesn't matter if other people hear the financials.
That's just that one committee. There's other committees that dictates who's on them, like our resolutions committee and stuff like that. But when it comes to education committee, membership committee, and it's not written in stone that those committees have to be chaired by a board member. And there's been situations where it hasn't always been a board member that chairs those committees. That just seems to be how it happens because those are the ones that are gathering on a monthly basis. But you've been involved in a committee that just happens to be the one committee that must be made up of board members.
We're glad you're on it.
Oh. Well, you've been participating with us and we appreciate that. It just, in that case there, it doesn't mean that members can't be a part of the committee. It just means that they can't be one of the ones that vote.
Steve.
To follow up, Sam, on your question, I've been on the board 5 or 6 years now, and have seen lots of committees, lots of chairs come and go, that kind of thing. I've been chairing the financial committee now for about 5 years, and from my personal view of what's going on, we've got some great committee chairs, in my opinion. These last couple of years, our chairs have been very active. You know, it's disheartening that we've lost members. I don't know. We'll go through the members' numbers here in a few minutes. I think there's other reasons for that, but as far as what I see happening with our committees, I think they're doing a fantastic job. Everybody. I don't think anybody's sitting on their ass. Excuse my expression. Okay. Financial committee, we had a lot of meetings this year. Our financials are stronger now. We've made decisions to get our money back in a better position. I don't think this is the time to go into it, but I think there's a couple of things that we can do going forward that I'm going to present this year that I won't be liked for, but I'm going to present them, that would solve our financial problems, period. So it may not be very popular, but I'll go into that later. Well, I'll go into it now, just since we're a membership meeting. And I'm sorry, this fixed to make me not popular at all. First thing that took a lot of our money away is this ANSI thing that we did. My opinion, we wasted money. It's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. We shouldn't do it. We should get rid of it, forget about it. I don't know what you think it'll do for you, but it won't do anything for you. So we spent tons of money for that. Okay. I see some smiles going on there. I'm sorry that you are misinformed that it will do something for you, but I don't see any way that it would. Maybe you can educate me. Part of the whole ANSI thing is our CEU thing. What does that do for you? It's costing us 107 members right now 85 members, which is over 100,000. It originally cost us about 300 members totally. So, and yeah, I'm an engineer. I have to do CEUs as an engineer. You went through 15 years and it's all self-reported. We don't turn anything in. Nobody approves our CEUs, anything like that. We sign a statement that says, yes, we did our stuff. Sure. You know, it's a professional, you know, type deal. Then they do audits just to keep people, you know, on the up and up. But that's a state license. It's a state license requirement. We are not state licensed. In my opinion, we're not going to be state licensed. We don't have the money to go forward with licensing or ANSI or any of that. Unless you can come up with a couple $100,000 and a staff to do it and just stay on it, you're not going to get there, period. And we don't have that money. And I could be 100% misinformed, but my impression is when we lost a bulk of membership at one point, it was due to the CEU problem. And I'm not against CEU, so don't take it this way. I'm just saying that we are a private organization representing private owners throughout the nation, AIBD, and we're doing a great job doing it. But let's be the organization that we are and quit trying to be an architectural organization or an architect organization or a engineer organization or whatever the state laws require. I mean, what we normally do is talk about, well, we need to do this because architects do this, you know, or this or this. I'm not saying they don't, but there's a reasons we don't have that state license. Okay. If you want to be an architect, go to school, do your thing, go do it. Okay. And then you can do your CEUs and do all the same kind of things you're doing. But as a group, we do tremendous amount of work across the nation with our qualifications that we have, which are private self-qualifications. And I just think we should embrace that and be who we are. Just think, if we didn't spend the $100,000 roughly on ANSI, and I'm just throwing numbers out, Steve, I don't have exact numbers, but if we didn't spend that money originally, that money would be in the account. Okay. If we didn't take off and say, you're not good enough, Mr. Wright, because you didn't do your CEs and shares, so you've been a member for 40 years, but you're gone. And, you know, I have personal friends that are my age roughly that have looked at me in the past and said, you know what, I'm offended that I have to do this. You know, as professionals, and I think we're all professionals in this room, we all stay up with what we need to know. Or we can't, if you're successful in business, you stay up on what you need to know. Learning new technologies, learning, you know, going forward with what you need to know, whether it's new software or new products come on the market, stuff's changing every day. And we in this room probably stay up more than architects or anybody else. Just knocking on wood and throwing that out there. But how much money are we spending to prove it to our organization that we're doing that? We're spending a lot of money. Not trying to get Rusty's job or anything. I'm not picking on anybody. But if you look at the numbers, we spend a lot of money on trying to get people to rejoin, recertify, get your CEUs, and then report CEUs, and then somebody type those in and make sure that we're policed. Okay. All I'm saying is, if we become state licensed and it's really a requirement, or if there's somebody out there saying, you know, hey, I'm not going to hire you to design my home because you don't do CEUs, that's not true. You're not going to have a client in our industry that says that, in my opinion. So
let me clarify first before we move on. You haven't been required to have CEUs to renew your membership for 16 years. Okay. Yeah, CPPDs.
Questions?
About 80. Kevin.
So I'm just going to go back to the very beginning of this meeting, one of our mission statements, to make designers better one by one. If you don't have any accountability for a CEU, and if you say you're already doing it, why can't you report it? I think we've come up with two things why membership is lacking. One is cost and one is CEU. Both of them are garbage excuses. If you don't get $350 of the value out of a membership, then you're not doing it right. If you can't get 8 CEUs a year, you're not doing it right. We need to hold our membership up to a higher standard, and that's part of our mission statement. So I'm going to discount half of what you said, but I appreciate it.
Lyle Breeze here, and to address both of those statements, Sam Liberty and I had a rare opportunity to meet with the leadership of AIA in Washington, D.C., and on the same day we met with the National Council, or the NAHB Design Council. They both told us, we didn't volunteer it, they both told us that they know that between 94 and 96% of the homes that are built in America are not designed by licensed professionals. They're designed by people like us. AIBD is the only organization that I know of in this country that sets any kind of standards for design, and everybody else rides on our coattails. So I think if we follow the theory that you lead by, I'm sorry, you lead by example, then the CPBDs are the example. We're the ones setting a standard that we hope everyone else will follow. But at least for our clients and for people that we have to deal with, telling them that we've gone to the trouble of being educated, voluntarily educating and sitting for an exam and setting standards, I think sets us above everyone else. So I'm very much in favor of continuing education and getting CEU credits. I think that it's what holds us above the fray.
Okay, let me say that we're on a time crunch, and the person who is going to be inducting our officers has to leave at 11. So what we need to do is questions and comments are very welcome, but you need to address them to the front of the room, not at each other, because it feels like we're starting to get into a debate, and that's going to take us one more online. But again, we can't, if we're debating, not debate. Yeah. We need to just focus on reports right now and debate during lunch and at the bar tonight and through the next 2 days.
Was there an online comment?
I actually had a comment. I actually had a comment regarding the education, or I mean, the committees. Can you hear me? Yep. Everybody online can hear me. Can you hear me out?
Yep.
Okay. You were talking about what would make the committees better. As the chair of the education committee, I can tell you that if I had 2 or 3 more people, and that's the most that I would want, is 2 or 3 more people who are actually willing to put in time outside of the 1 hour meeting we have to get things, gather things, help with things, sometimes put things together. Right now there's 2 of us, and then the president usually shows up. Steve will sometimes show up, but we're all super busy too. If we could delegate some of the workload between different members, that would work great. But it requires members to step up, which you'll hear at my presentation in a little while. Because we do come up with some great ideas. The problem is the couple of us who are on the committee can't run it all. And that's how it is with every committee. So if you are willing to put in more than just 1 hour a month to actually spend a little bit of time outside of the actual meeting to do things, maybe gain some more information to bring in, whatever, then that would help. And that's what creates a great committee, is people working together and also separately to bring things in to work together. Again, we're all volunteers. We all have a career that we're trying to get paid for. That always takes precedence. But some of the things that we do on the committees can only be done if we have the help. And otherwise, they're just great ideas that we talk about and then can't take any further. So I hope that helps with the committees. And I will not address the CPBD comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis.
Right. Here's the, from the staff aspect, what I want to track is our retention. But our recruitment, I think we'll have a report on that from the membership committee. But we're the ones that are out there trying to get them to renew for the most part. And retention last year, we went from 1,019 people and ended up with 1,020, which was 100.1% growth. The retention was 79%. So out of the 1,119 members last year or 2 years ago that existed, 809 of them renewed. This year, starting off with that 1,020, we had 755 that renewed. So our retention rate slipped by 5%. But not only did the retention rate slip, but we went from 211 new members in June 25 to 134 new members this past 12 months. So in total, our growth was negative 13%. On the CPBD side, we started in 25 with 452 CPBDs. We ended the year with 444, giving us 92% or 93% really retainage and 98% growth. This year, we ended up with 100% because we kind of basically finished for exactly where we started from. So we kind of held our own. We didn't grow, but we didn't lose. To go back and address what Larry was referring to was that we've required CEUs for as long as I've been involved in this organization for 35 years. Sometimes it was for membership and certification. Now, since 2010 or 2011, it's just been certification that it's required for. We lost, I don't know, we'd have to pull up another report, but we lost about 70 people when we were going through the ANSI accreditation review, and we actually started enforcing. We started investing time and resources into a tracking system online to enforce the continuing education. Originally, we lost like 90 CPBDs, but it ended up only being 70 by the time we recovered some of them. But what was really heartbreaking was out of the 70, half of them had been a CPBD for like 20 years or more. So it wasn't like a new surprise to them. It's just that we started enforcing it and it didn't set well, I guess. But that's what was heartbreaking, was that there were a lot of old timers that have known the rules. We just didn't spend any time at all enforcing it until now, or 3 years ago, I guess that was, maybe 4. That goes into more detail of what I had up top. Lastly, the email blast reports. So we sent out, do I total it? By the way, I want to let you guys know that you can get access online to all these reports at aibd.org/annual meeting agenda. It's written on the agenda that you already have, or if you don't have one, there might be some left up top. But just to let you know that all these reports are available here. So on this one, I'm just going to hit the summary for sake of time. The report reviews AIBD email blast performance from July through June to keep year-to-year communication performance comparable. The core analysis emphasizes broad distribution campaigns sent to 4,000 or more recipients. Smaller segmented chapter and administrative sends are referenced as tactical outliers. AIBD sent 264 broad distributed campaigns during the fiscal year, generating 1,122,698 delivery opportunities, 614,790 opens, and 57,462 clicks across the primary list. The average open rate across the campaigns was 54.95%. The average click rate was 5.14%, and the average click to open rate was 9.29%, indicating a healthy pattern of both attention and downstream engagement. The primary audience was moved from 3,962 recipients at the start of the year to 4,081 by the end of the year, and a net increase of 118 recipients, or 2.98%. Again, it's a very long report, very detailed. It goes into which topics did better than other or did the best out of all the topics. But the bottom line is that we have a communication system that is working. It used to be that a lot of our recruitment came from the Compass Club. Members were out there recruiting other members. I don't know if Joey reports it, but the amount of Compass Club points that we awarded this year was dismal. All of our leads were coming from the efforts of our website and email campaigns, not from you guys like it used to be in the past. So we have an audience. They're opening our emails and they're clicking through, but for whatever reason, we just can't seem to make the close. So that's what our staff and our board need to be focused on for the next 12 months. And I've had enough of the stage. It's time for other people to get their reports and voice arrest. We may want to go ahead and rearrange the schedule and have everybody inducted before Ben has to go away.
I think that would be a good idea. Real quick, though, I want to say every one of our sponsors, most of these are Ohio sponsors. I want to thank the AIBD Ohio chapter, or the OKI, the OKI chapter for their donation. Harry Booty, longtime supporter of AIBD. We have the other companies, and these boxes were donated. They do have information from some of these sponsors in them. They have some other little goodies. So if you didn't grab a box, it should be out front. If you don't see one, let me know. And we're gonna skip up to which part? Where are we headed to? Inductees? While they're doing that, everyone heard the name Garrett a lot. Garrett does an awful lot for this organization, so he does deserve a little round of applause. Dude. Just a moment, everyone online.
While we have a little dead air, I wanted to see, we wanted to take a minute to talk about your sponsors a little bit instead of just mentioning
That's a good idea. Energy innovation is Harry here. Everybody knows Harry's got the table right out front. He sponsored the registration table. Harry has energy innovations. I can't even explain what that guy does. Well, I'm just going to say what he does there. He runs the mathematics of the house plans to figure out the best energy use for the houses. Please stop and see him. He's got examples out there. I may not have described that properly. Stone decks. Let me know when you're ready. Stone decks is a product that you have, instead of putting deck boards down, Trex decks, you can actually put stone, tile, paver bricks on a wood deck system. And that keeps the weather from moving around. When I design with it, I use it as a highlighted area. A lot of people like the little chameleon pots, the burning pots. Well, you got to have that on a non-flammable surface, so you can put this product there. It can be retrofitted. Baird Brothers is a woodworking company, and they do ship their woodworking all across the U.S. We toured their plant. The gentleman was telling me that there is a person in, I'm going to say South Dakota, that sells tabletops online, orders them from right over here in Ohio, and then they ship them to whoever orders them. They do a lot of stuff. Last one is Rockwool Insulation Company. I did not know this. There's two places, I believe, where they can get the rock that they use. And I got to go to the plant. And they make it a molten rock. And then as they cool it through a machine, they spin it into the insulation. But I never knew it was actually rock until I got talking with the gentleman about that. And they'll all have something to say. They'll be at the tabletop. Please go to them.
Hey.
I guess.
Hello, everybody. I'm the NCBDC president, Bernie Kern, and I'd like to just take this moment to recognize people that volunteered and shared their efforts and help with the NCBDC Council for the last fiscal year. I'd like to start with Bruce Yancey. Mark Wilson. Angel Silva. Catherine Joyner. Tequila Gillette. John Fott. Secretary Treasurer Kimberly Mockert.
Hudson.
Sorry, Kimberly Hudson. Larry Walker. Larry was Vice President. And then myself, President Bernie Kern. And now I'd like to announce our new NCBDC Council for this coming year. And I just have to make this comment while I have the opportunity, is that about a week ago, I was worried that we would not have enough people to make a council. And we sent out an emergency email, and we've doubled our council membership. We were kind of shorthanded last year. This year, we now have 14 council members. We have all our committees filled with chair people. We're raring to go. We even have all their meetings scheduled for this upcoming year. So that was great news.
All the applause to you. Read them all.
Starting with new council member Jason Orlowski.
That's not it.
New council member Reginald Stropshire. New council member Stacy Oliva. New council member and now the committee chair for the Certification Oversight Committee, Chris Wells. New council member and also Certification Exam Committee Chair, Michael Payne. New council member, Tracy DeGoriago. Sorry about that, Tracy. I didn't say your last name. Returning council member, Mark Wilson. Returning council member, Yukila Gillette. New council member and recertification committee chair, Daniel Aponte. Returning council member, Angel Silva, certification outreach committee chair. Returning council member, Kimberly Hudson. Returning council member and now secretary, Catherine Joyner. Returning council member and vice president, Larry Walker. And returning council member, myself, President Bernie Kern.
Thank you for volunteering. This is your outgoing. This is my outgoing. And, out. If what? If you wouldn't mind when you have them come up stage. All right, I don't mind. Come up on stage. Let's just get up here in front of the camera when as you go. Ted Hake, I'm here. Thank you. I'm your president. I do want to say thank you for trusting me for the last 2 years, voting for me. I'll get that later. First Vice President, Internal Vice President, Mr. Brandon Clokey. Oh, thank you. I was afraid I didn't know the button. Over here, Brandon.
Lesson number one, take the long way.
Thank you, Brandon. Second Vice President, External Vice President, Mr. Jack Butler over here. Kind of fits right in there. Dennis Fletcher is our secretary right down here. Mr. Larry Walker, you come up, is our treasurer. Thank you. Then we have Joey Martin is the director. I don't think Joey's online. Thank you, Joey. Mr. Scott Cook, please come up. He's the director. Thank you, Scott. And we have Jeff Fry, director. Don't look into the light, guys. Mr. Lyle Breeze came back as a director, a long time. You later. The immediate ex officio, Bernie Kern. College of Fellows, ex officio, Mr. John Font. Past president, ex officio, Mr. Ben Table. And Steve Mickley, Chief Executive Officer. Color looks good on your shirt. Tech headaches, give us a moment. Now, if you're going to be on this incoming board, please remain on stage. But if you're stepping down, thank you for your service, and you can rejoin the audience. Thank you, John.
right, now, if you would like to announce the incoming board, and if anybody is in the room that's on the incoming board, when Ted calls your name, please join us on stage.
First, I'd like to present a gentleman I bumped into, talked to about becoming a member, your incoming president, Mr. Brandon Clokey. We've become quite the good friends. First Vice President, Mr. Jack Butler. Our second Vice President, you guys are right in front of him, Mr. Dennis Fletcher. Right behind you. Thank you, Dennis. Yeah, Dennis is right behind you. Yeah, there's Dennis. Secretary, Lyle Breeze has volunteered to step up. Thank you, Lyle. As treasurer, we're happy to keep Larry Walker as treasurer. Starting with the directors, we have Scott Cook, Jeff Fry, no good at names, Eugene Gillis, if I pronounce it right, please. Yay. I'm bad with names. Also as director, Joey Martin. If you're here, please come out. John Retro. Coming back as a director. Oh, is he coming up? Good, good. I'm sorry if I botched your name. Ben Table's coming back as a director. Then we have NCBDC ex officio, Bernie Kern. Says so our incoming College of Fellows. Yeah, I know that's not right. Mr. Sam Liberty is chairman of the College of Fellows. Immediate past president will be myself. And Steve will be staying with us. Garrett staying with us. This is your new board and leadership team. Round of applause.
And now to induct our new board is our former past president, Ben Table.
All right. Those of you who are online, sorry to not have you in the room, but at this point, we're going to induct everyone, so be ready. You stand before us today as the newly elected national officers and directors of the American Institute of Building Design for the 2026-2027 fiscal year. Your peers have entrusted you with the stewardship of our institute to champion our profession, guide our strategic vision, and serve our entire membership with distinction. Please raise your right hand and answer the following question. Will you, to the absolute best of your ability, fulfill the duties of your office, uphold the principles of AIBD, and lead our organization forward with integrity and purpose?
I will.
I will.
All right. Our institute thrives on the dedication and vision of leaders like you. On behalf of the entire membership, thank you for stepping up to serve. Members, please join me in welcoming your 2026-2027 AIBD Board of Directors.
Everybody may be seated.
Yes. Everyone
Brandon.
except for Brandon, please be
Right
seated.
behind
So we're going to have a little fun with something this year. Steve came up with a great idea that he talked about yesterday. It's always fun. I remember when Bernie was elected president, he slammed the gavel down. He goes, I always wanted to do that. So we always had a lot of fun with that. So we have the gavel that will be officially passed, but as a volunteer organization, it's all about the members. It's all about stepping up. It's all about supporting. So what we're going to do is we're going to pass the gavel around, give it some good vibes, think through it, and pass it on. And everyone's going to touch the gavel, and then eventually it will be returned up to Mr. Brandon Clokey.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, give it to the grandkids last so they don't run away with it, right? Brandon?
No, so they bring it up. They're not going to walk away with it.
All right, as that occurs, it is my honor and privilege, Brandon, to conduct the oath of office for you as the next president of AIBD. Brandon Clokey, it gives me great pleasure to install you as the president of the American Institute of Building Design. This title represents the confidence, respect, and high expectations of your professional colleagues. They look to your leadership to guide the aims and aspirations of the Institute. As you accept this responsibility, please raise your right hand. Do you pledge to carry out the duties and responsibilities of the office of President to the utmost of your ability? Do you pledge to continuously exhibit and promote the highest standards of professional ethics?
I do.
By the authority vested in me by the Board of Directors of the American Institute of Building Design, I hereby declare you officially installed as the president of the Institute. Congratulations.
Pass the gavel. Pass the gavel. Pass it. Pass it. Come on, let's pass the gavel. All right, we're passing the gavel around the room. Feels good. Now that you've all touched it, you have to come back for the next convention. Hey.
So before I begin, allow me to thank Ted. He mentioned that we essentially ran into each other before I first moved back to Ohio, which is where I'm from. I contacted the HBA director, and we had a little conversation, and he said, "You need to meet Ted Haig." And I didn't know what that meant. Here we are 10 years later, and I know exactly what that means. So Ted, thank you for your friendship. Thank you for your leadership. And thank you for always being here for the members of AIBD. I know that there are former presidents in the room. I know that there's members who are committed. That's why you're here.
You come with me.
But to our new executive committee, to our A team,
Come with me.
and our distinguished guests.
Let's go this
More importantly, Ted, Ted still has the mic on. That's why. I hear Ted's voice in my head, and I thought I was imagining it. But you know what? This is true.
Delivery.
Interruption.
Special smiles.
No, don't hit me in the head.
Oop. She wants
Thank
to
you.
keep it.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll see you guys in a bit, okay?
I'll be right back. Oh. Let's go around this way.
Yes.
See him. Go get him.
As you've seen,
Go get him.
today is a great professional honor for me. It's a day that I will carry with me for the rest of my life. But before I speak about this office, before I speak about this institute, before I begin to speak about the future that we will build together, I want to speak about the moment, about the people that made this possible. Last year, I had the privilege of standing on the stage in Asheville and thanking you as my AIBD family. I meant every word of it. This institute has given me friendships, opportunities, challenges, and relationships that have changed my life. But today I would like to introduce you to my family. You've seen them if you were around last night or even this morning or even just 2 seconds ago. The people who have walked beside me before I ever stood on here, to my wife and children who watch me hour after hour after hour. Thank you for understanding the late nights, the long hours, the meetings, the travel, in the moments when the commitment to this profession meant a sacrifice for all of us. To my children, I say thank you. To my 2.5 beautiful grandchildren, and yes, there's a half back there. You represent a future that's bigger than any of us. You remind me what we build today matters, because someone else will inherit tomorrow. Unfortunately, some of my siblings were going to be up here and couldn't make the trip. But please know, to my dear friends who actually live about a half a mile down the street from me, who made the trip from Youngstown to be here for this moment, thank you for believing me and encouraging me and standing beside me and my family throughout every chapter of this incredible journey. So today, I'm honored and I'm blessed beyond measure that my two families are together here in the same room. And for that, I am deeply grateful. This brings us to today. We all had someone that opened the door for us to become designers. Someone who offered encouragement. Someone who gave guidance. Someone who believed in us before we believed in ourselves. That's why leadership matters. Leadership is not about standing above others. Leadership is about reaching back and helping each other stand. That's what we do as designers. We're here for each other. Leadership is not about knowing the person or being the person with all of the answers. Leadership is about creating an environment where people can discover their own answers. Leadership is not about being remembered, but rather leadership is about leaving something behind that is stronger than what we have. Today, I do accept this responsibility with humility. I do not stand here before you because I believe I have all of the answers. I stand before you because I believe deeply in what we can accomplish together. I believe in this institute. I believe in our members. I believe in our profession. And I believe that the greatest chapters of AIBD are still ahead of us. There's another lesson that life has taught me, that no one gets here alone. No president, no leader, no designer, no person. The accomplishments that we celebrate are never the result of one individual. They're the result of a team. And it's fitting that we gather here today, just a short distance from the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Because football teaches us something that every leader must understand. Championships are never won by one person. Every year we celebrate the greatest players in the history of the game, the quarterbacks, the receivers, the defenders and the coaches, the legends whose names are remembered forever. But behind every name in that Hall of Fame is a story that includes people who helped get them there. No quarterback reaches greatness without receivers who are willing to run faster than the defender. No receiver makes the catch without an offensive line willing to protect long enough for the play to develop. No team wins without coaches who study, prepare, adjust, and understand what it takes to succeed. And no player reaches the highest level without teammates willing to do their job when no one else is watching. That's what makes a championship team. That's what makes a winner. Everyone understanding their role, everyone trusting the person beside them, everyone committed to the same goal. That is how organizations succeed. That is how this institute will succeed. Games are won by people who show up when the excitement has faded and the hard work begins. That lesson applies directly to leadership because every organization has people who are quick to point out what is wrong. Every organization has people who can explain what should have been done. Every organization has people who are willing to criticize from the comfort of the sidelines. Allow me to say this, but great organizations are not built by people who simply identify the problems. They're built by people who accept the responsibility for the solution. So today I want to offer a challenge, not criticism, not condemnation, but a challenge. If you have a passion for this institute, if you have concerns about where we are headed, if you have concerns, we need you. We need you on the field. Not standing on the sideline, not simply being the loudest distraction from the plays that are being called, but helping execute them. Because your passion matters. That's why you're here. Your voice matters. That's why you're here. But the greatest leaders are not those who simply say, someone should do something. The greatest leaders say, how can I help? What role can I play? What can I do to move us forward? We all know the elephant in the room when we say the time for saying we should is over. We should improve our education. We should increase our visibility. We should attract younger designers. We should strengthen our membership. We should create more opportunities. Those statements are true. But statements alone do not create change. Ideas alone do not create progress. And ideas without action is simply a dream. And while dreams are important, dreams require builders. And builders are who we are. We are designers, we are creators, we are problem solvers. We take ideas that exist only in someone's imagination and turn them into something real. So why would we expect anything less from our own organization? I want every member of AIBD to hear this clearly. We know there are challenges. We know there are areas where we must improve. We know that there are decisions before us that will require an extraordinary amount of courage. Your executive committee now knows this. Your board knows this. Our staff knows this. And let me stand before you today and tell you and assure you that we are prepared. We are not here to protect the past at the expense of the future, but we are here to honor the past by building the future. Let's not ever get that mixed up. We will respect the foundation that others have built. Like I said, the first few words were past presidents. There's many of you in here. I have no intent of discrediting the work that you've done. Rather, I'm proud to be standing on the work that you have done. We'll learn from those who came before us. We will celebrate the legacy that brought us here. But we will also have the courage to ask, what does AIBD need to become? What does the next generation of designers truly need from us? How do we make this institute stronger, more valuable, and more meaningful? Because organizations do not survive by standing still. They survive by continuing to grow. It is time to elevate this institute. It is time to elevate our leadership. It is time to elevate our education. It is time to elevate our profession as a whole. But more importantly, it's time to elevate you, the residential designer, the person who pours creativity, knowledge, and passion into every single project, the person who listens to a family's dreams and turns it into a place that they can call home, the person who understands that a home is never just walls and windows. So today, I ask something of each and every one of you. Be ready. Be ready to lift someone else up higher than yourself. Be ready to mentor. Be ready to teach. Be ready to share. Be ready to encourage, not discourage. Be ready to celebrate another designer's successes as if it were your own. Because that is how real professions grow. That is how great professions grow. That is how great organizations grow. That's how great communities grow. I believe there's a future waiting for AIBD that is greater than anything we've ever seen. A future where young designers can look at this institute and say, this is where I belong. Not ones that we don't know, but ones like we have sitting in the back of the room who will be on a panel later today. At 18, who's a student member, who says, this place makes sense for me. We don't have to look harder than we think we do. They're here. We can't let them walk back out and then say we don't understand what happened. But I do see a future where education transforms careers. I see a future where our awards program celebrates excellence and inspires the next generation. A future where residential designers are are recognized as essential voices in the build field. Where the future where our membership doesn't just simply exist, but thrives. More importantly, I see a future where every person connected to AIBD understands one single undeniable truth: that we are better together than any of us could be alone. So as I close today, please indulge me for a minute and tell you how I got here. So very, very short story. When I was about 4 years old, one of my first memories was going into my grandma's house and seeing this picture on the wall. I didn't know what it was. I was drawn to it every time we went to grandma's house. Grandma got old, grandma died. I have no idea what happened to the picture, but it was a picture of the building. So when I got to be in 6th grade, we got our math books. And on the cover of our math book was the same picture. My parents had to be completely confused when I came home from school excited about 6th grade math. Because on the surface, that made no sense. A few months later, my dad asked me if I wanted to go to the Cleveland Auto Show. What young 6th grade boy doesn't want to see cars? And as it turned out, it was a Monday holiday. So we had off from school. And he's like, well, let's go up tomorrow. I'll take off from work. We'll go up to Cleveland. We'll go to the auto show. As it turned out, because it was a holiday, the auto show was closed. And so my dad, because he knew Cleveland and had lived here for most of his life, showed me the War Memorial, showed me Tower City, showed me these sites that I hope all of you have the opportunity to see because literally they're only a couple blocks away. But then we're walking down Euclid Avenue, which is right here. And my dad looks at me and says, "Are you hungry?" Again, I'm a teenage boy. This seems like, And I said, "Well, of course." And as we're walking down Euclid, he just stops and he opens the door and says, "I believe there's someplace in here that we can get something to eat." I look up and I see the words, "the arcade." Now, as a kid of the 80s, I'm thinking, cool, Dad's taking me to an arcade? I'm thinking quarters, I'm thinking all of this stuff. I'm thinking, cool. We walked down the short corridor, and I pray that all of you have the opportunity to do this. We walked down this corridor. And there it was in real life, the picture that I had seen. The same picture that inspired me to want to design was right there in front of me in real life. Because my dad knew that this had nothing to do about lunch. He knew that it had to do about a future. He played it off. But my dad knew exactly what he was doing. And he knew exactly what this one single event could mean for the future. So here we are now, God knows how many years later, and I'm 2 blocks from that building, standing in front of you. So allow me to thank you for being the opposite bookend of that kid walking through the building, seeing a picture in real life. But this is why we're here, because my dad understood the future and know and understand that as president, I also understand the future of this organization. So I thank you for this honor. I pray for your patience. I pray for your support, and know that I will do my very best as your president.
Glad I bumped into you.
So I know that we've changed the agenda a little bit. If you, yeah, exactly, we have runners. So if you excuse me, Ted, please continue on. I actually have to go say goodbye to the 2 beautiful little people who will be on the road heading back to Minnesota here in about 2 minutes. So, thank you.
All right. Figure out where we left off. Hard to follow that one. We'll do this one.
Thank you. Hi, people. Congratulations.
So a couple months ago, I got a phone call from a good friend of ours, Mike Battaglia, and he suggested that perhaps we should think about a way to honor Ted and all the work that he's put in for AIBD over the years, both at our chapter level and at the national level. All the years he spent working with the ARTA program and everything that he's done. So we put together a little award, and I'd like to read it and show it to you. It's presented to Ted Hake in recognition of your dedicated service, steadfast leadership, and enduring commitment to the American Institute of Building Design. Your national and chapter contributions have strengthened our organization, elevated the profession, and inspired designers across the country. With deep appreciation, Tri-State Ohio OKI chapter. So, Ted, thank you for everything you've done, Ted.
Thank you. I did not expect that.
Your good friend Mike had a lot to do with that.
Just show off your gavel and your. We're a little off the agenda. Mike, jump right in. Can't hear you, Mike. Hold on. Try now. Yeah, we think it's your end. Put your headphones back on, Mike. Maybe your mic's there. Hey, Dennis Fletcher, try saying something.
Something.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, Mike.
All right, is that any better?
Yeah, there we go. Your microphone was on your headphones.
Okay, is that any better? I guess not.
Yeah, go ahead. Talk to Mike. Tell him it's okay.
Mike, you're on. We can hear you now.
Oh,
That's the problem.
Man, where's my hat? Mike?
He dropped his audio a while ago.
Was Mike wanting to say something, I take it?
I sure was.
There, we can hear you.
Okay, awesome. Well, Brandon's acceptance speech was really hard to follow, or hard to follow up on. This morning about 5 o'clock, I was thinking about what I wanted to really say, so I wrote it down. And the coincidental part of it is that it centers around volunteerism. And I'm going to read this so I can keep online here. Thank you for allowing me to address the members of the AIBD today. I would like to start off with a word, volunteer. The definition from Webster's dictionary is one who enters service of his own free will. Volunteers are the backbone of many organizations, and the AIBD is one of such organizations. The individuals who have stepped up and volunteered their time and resources, and in many cases, put their businesses on hold for the purpose of improving the design profession and supporting the mission of the AIBD deserve recognition. The president, internal and external vice presidents, the treasurer, secretary, and board of directors have volunteered to assist in the success of the AIBD. Thank you. A special thanks goes to my buddy Ted Haig. His participation began when he was pulled out of a dark corner during an AIBD meeting to become president of the Ohio Society, then rose to AIBD president. Ted has volunteered in many positions of the AIBD over the years with expertise and honor. He joins a very special group of individuals who have come before him. I cannot be there today to recognize Ted for his contributions, but I know he is worthy of the recognition, and he will be honored today and throughout the conference this week. Thank you, Ted. I can't tell you how much I appreciate what you've done, and I know you're not going to give up and continue on. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you. Now we're back to the boring stuff. Committee reports. I can't believe that. Thank you, guys. Jim, thank you. Brandon's gone. The ARTA committee reports. I'm going to come back to that. Want me to read? Well, I'm going to wait till he gets back. Chapter committee reports. Scott Cook, would you like to come up and read your report? These reports are all online, as Steve said. Anybody can click into them. Hold it or wear it. It's on now.
around the neck. Good morning, all. The AIBD currently maintains 13 active chapters across the United States. Over the past year, these chapters collectively held 45 meetings with an average attendance of 9 members among the chapters that reported attendance. Of the 8 chapters that met the required minimum number of meetings during the fiscal year, 7 exceeded that requirement, demonstrating a strong commitment to member engagement. A special recognition goes to the Eastern Shore chapter, which led the organization by holding 12 meetings throughout the year. During this reporting period, 5 chapters will be inactivated for failing to meet the minimum operation requirements. Maintaining an active, engaged local chapter remains one of AIBD's greatest opportunities for growth and will continue to be a primary focus in the coming fiscal year. Through ongoing guidance, resources, and support, AIBD is committed to strengthening existing chapters while encouraging the development of new ones. By fostering stronger local engagement, we aim to expand the organization's reach, increase member participation, and reduce the number of chapters facing inactivation in the future. One way I'm going to add to that we're planning on this year, as I'm stepping down as the chapter chair, we're going to have 2 chapter chairs. So we're going to co-chapters, which kind of goes back to one of Sam was talking about, to get more involvement. I'm going to still try to be involved in that as well. I'm going to attend those meetings. And if I can encourage you, if you're not involved with a chapter, please get involved. You know, you don't have to be a chapter chair to attend the meetings. We meet once a month. So just show up. It's all about members helping members. So we do have a few awards for the All-Star chapter. So as I call your name or your chapter, will someone from the chapter come up? So the Western North Carolina chapter.
Representatives,
All
thank
right.
you, thank you.
Tri-State OKI chapter.
All right, Jeff.
Yes, sir. Central Colorado chapter. Northeast Ohio chapter. And the Eastern Shore chapter.
Here she comes. Get her on that side. She took the long path.
Did she? Thank you, Tracy. That's all I have. Thank you.
Room that way. Oscar. Oh, Oscar's here. Oscar's here. Oh, who we got? Get up there quick. Stand over there. Name badge. Thank you. Do like to thank all the chapters. If you get a chance to go to chapter meetings in person, online, just go. The online ones you can join anywhere. I've been to Tracy's several times. And now we're going to back up a little bit. The ARDA committee, would you like to do your ARDA committee report? I know. Oh, you got one? Speed it up. Red is dead. You're on.
No, I feel like I was here. So first of all, I just want to now a matter of record. Apologize. So, as the final event of ARDA 2026 is now is upon us, and while I wish I could stand before you today and tell you that we've had another record-breaking year as I have in previous years, it is simply not the case for this year. History has taught us that the work that ARDA does not end on Saturday evening. In many ways, in many respects, it begins there. The conversations we have this week, the ideas that we share, the opportunities to identify with each other, That's all right. Technology is fun. So ARDA is not a single event. It's a year-long commitment to delivering what we hope to be the premier residential design competition in the nation. The planning of ARDA 2026 officially began in August of 2025. We carefully evaluated the previous competition. We identified areas for improvement. We celebrated what worked well, and we reviewed every award category to ensure that they remained relevant to today's residential design profession. In December, we began assembling this year's jury, continuing the format that we adopted in 2024. We sought 6 distinguished judges whose diverse backgrounds and unique expertise provided a balanced, knowledgeable, and respected evaluation of each project submitted. On March 13th of this year, we officially opened the entry period for ARDA 2026. As history has consistently shown, submissions begin actually, I should say, very slowly, despite the early launch, with the majority arriving in the final weeks before the deadline. When the entry period concluded, we had received 192 project submissions compared to 223 in 2025. While this represented a decrease in both entries and overall revenue, it is important to recognize that until the final weeks of the competition, we were projecting a substantially larger decline. The strong finish demonstrated both the continued confidence that our members have in the program and the enduring value of ARDA represents within the residential design community. Through my tenure as chair, I have worked tirelessly to strengthen this program. And after reflecting on this year's results and speaking to many members, I believe that there are 3 primary reasons for this year's adjustment. First, this was the first year in the 4 years that I have been chair of the program that ARDA was not promoted without any paid outside marketing. During the previous 3 award sessions, I personally contributed funds to help support external marketing efforts because I believed in deeply growing the program. This year, I was simply not in the position to continue to do so or to continue that personal investment. Despite that, the program continued to perform really in an exceptionally high level. The second reason, I believe, is that many members shared the common concern regarding today's economic climate. Although the ARDA entry fee has remained unchanged for several years and continues to be viewed as an exceptional value, even a modest investment can become difficult for the independent residential designers navigating an increasingly challenging economy. The decision to enter for many was not about the value of the program, but the realities of their business. And third, and perhaps most importantly, we recognize the broader context in which ARDA operates. As we all know, AIBD has experienced a decline in membership over the past several years. Yet during the same period, ARDA has continued to grow, producing record-breaking years in both participation and revenue. While we naturally hope to see continued growth, it is simply not realistic to expect a program to expand indefinitely without increased external marketing, broader industry exposure, and growth to our membership. In many ways, I believe that this year's results represent a healthy correction rather than a setback. Even with fewer entries, ARDA remains one of the strongest and most respected residential design competitions in the country. In fact, I believe those results further validate the strength of the program. ARDA has consistently outperformed many of the broader trends affecting our organization. And to me, that speaks volumes about the value, the credibility, the reputation that this competition has earned. As Steve posted earlier, there is all of these reports online. I will very quickly summarize in concluding here. Obviously, you all saw a few minutes ago that I now have a few extra responsibilities in the organization. And so because of that, I will be stepping down as chairperson for ARDA. Ted Hake will be returning to now we're just going to do this whole flip-flop thing, will be returning to the position of chair for the ARDA committee. I need to thank you for your support and your encouragement in what we have done with ARDA over the last 4 years. I believe that we are now leaving ARDA in a much better position than we were 4 years ago. Thank you.
There, thank you, Brandon. I'm on.
Oh, I still have, sorry.
Don't be taking that. Next report, Mr. Jack Butler. Do you have anything on codes and standards? You have a report here. Can you hear us, Jack?
Yes, sir. AIBD was actively involved in the process of creating, interpreting, and applying building codes throughout the 2026 membership year. The year began with our submitting a revised set of proposed modifications to the Florida Building Code that had previously been rejected by the Florida Building Commission's Administrative Code Committee during its first round of reviews in June. At that time, they denied all proposed modifications except for a simple one that changed the address of a standard setting agency. They were not in the mood to hear anybody's ideas, it seemed, at that time. Once a proposed modification has been considered at the first meeting, reconsideration is accomplished by submitting a public comment that can make changes to the original proposal. This set of modifications sought to alter the wording of section 107.1 in the Florida Building Code building and add new definitions in section 202 for special condition and supplemental construction documents. After a month-long process of additional hearings, the Florida Building Commission incorporated AIBD's modifications into the next edition of the Florida Building Code, which will take effect on December 31st, 2026. This work was in support of existing statutory license exemptions for residential designers. These modifications remove the requirements for supplemental construction documents to be prepared by registered design professionals, limit the ability of local building officials to make broad declarations of special conditions, and add support for electronic submission of plans and specifications when someone applies for a building permit. A similar process was followed at the International Code Council's hearings held in Cleveland, Ohio in October 2025 in order to advocate for the International Residential Code Committee's acceptance of revised AIBD submitted code modifications they had previously denied. The IRC committee was the first to hear a two-part proposal to modify section 106.1 and add two definitions, similar to what we had done in Florida. Also similar to the Florida protocol, public comments submitted by AIBD were subsequently used to create floor modifications that resulted in a proposal being accepted by the second committee to hear it, which was the admin committee. Same modification was then resubmitted to the IRC committee as a public comment after the hearings ended, which allowed that committee to revisit the issue at the second round of hearings. This time, the committee accepted the revised modifications, which will now appear in the 2027 ICC model codes. These code amendments proposals have been motivated by member complaints regarding actions by local building officials to require registered design professionals to prepare construction documents for permitting when the applicable state laws did not require it. For example, in Broward County, Florida, the Board of Rules and Appeals had long applied a local policy requiring that a registered design professional prepare all construction documents for any residential project costing more than $35,000, when Florida statute specifically said, and the Florida Building Commission confirmed in response to an AIBD petition, that residential construction was exempt from designer licensing requirements regardless of the cost. After years of pressure by AIBD, or voted 7-5 in August 2025 to repeal that policy. These successes are more public result of AIBD's consistent and frequent participation in meetings of the ICC Building Code Advisory Committee and industry trade groups that draft model code language. Although the last BCAC meeting to finalize the 2027 ICC codes was just held earlier this month on July the 10th, it is already time to start the process to create the 2030 edition, which begins with our first meeting set for August 5th. While drafting the codes and standards that govern the design process is a key area for AIBD leadership, the Institute is also involved in the legislative level. AIBD routinely monitors legislative activity in all 50 states and intervenes when doing so supports AIBD's policies and our members' interests. For example, AIBD contacted legislators in California earlier this year regarding our support for continued exemption from state licensure requirements for interior design activities commonly included in residential and small commercial projects. The legislature subsequently rejected an effort by a commercial interior design group to create such a state license mandate. In a similar way, AIBD contacted key legislators in Florida to support the inclusion of language requiring all local governments to allow accessory dwelling units to be permitted in residential districts subject to space and impact requirements. Although the amendment was included in the appropriation bills and made it through committees, it was removed at the last minute on the floor of the House of Representatives. We will try again in the 2027 session. This time we have the support of the federal act that encourages states and local governments to encourage ADU construction. While these national and state advocacy activities are the public side of AIBD's work in the codes and standards arena, less public but equally important are AIBD's routine responses to member inquiries and requests for help from across the country regarding code compliance and local permitting issues. For example, AIBD worked during May of this year with the city of Titusville, Florida, the Florida DOT, and a private developer to resolve issues related to on-site and off-site improvements and utility connections that were holding up the Phase 1 certificate of occupancy for Millwright Apartments in Titusville. The situation was eventually resolved to the satisfaction of all parties, and tenants have moved into the 2 apartment buildings. AIBD also supports local activities by organizing regional conferences. One example was the Connect Florida conference held in Sanford, Florida on January 16th, where our PowerPoint presentation, Building Codes to Courtrooms, Advocacy at AIBD, premiered. This presentation describes the recent history of AIBD activities to support our members and is available for download at the AIBD website. All of these activities demonstrate that AIBD is in the best position to support the building design profession in the many organizations and legislatures where codes and standards we must follow are being developed. It is important for each member to engage with AIBD in this process and to take advantage of our ability to resolve problems you may have in design issues or getting a building permit. Maybe you need a sounding board to talk about a design issue. Whatever it is, AIBD has the resources to make a difference in your daily work. You're paying for it. Why not use it? Thanks.
Any questions for Jack? Do it. Oh, we got a question. Hold on, Jack, we got a question.
It's not really a question, Jack. I appreciate your report. More of a comment, but I think as all of us kind of go back to our chapters or go back and try to recruit members, I think everybody should just print out Jack's report. That's the value of AIBD. So fantastic report, Jack. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Next, College of Fellows. John Font's going to give the report. Oh,
there we go. Good afternoon, all. It's been an honor to be the chancellor this year. When I got the request, it was like, who, me? I remember I've told this story, many of you probably already heard it. When I first came to the organization, there were many people who were art-venerated designers in the organization. Dan Sater, Jim Lucia, several others. And they were this College of Fellows. And they were honored, and they had the little white jackets and around the and I thought, I'll never see that. In 2018 in Philadelphia, I was inducted and took me completely by surprise. Um, I just thought I was working like everybody else in AIBD, trying to get things done. Volunteering being part of it, jumped into NCBDC and ascended the president and did that 3 times, handed it off 3 times. But, you know, that was just part of working with the group, working with the people that you see and hear on the screen and you've heard through these meetings, and working with the group to accomplish things for this association. And put a lot of time and energy into the examination review, which was recounted just the other day in a lot more depth by Stephen about how we arrived from where we were to where we are currently, and still the work that has to be done. But that's a different court and that's a different committee. From the College of Fellows, we are charged with handling not only the induction, but some scholarships. And on Saturday night, we will be inducting 2 new members to the College of Fellows. And the first will be Kevin Holdridge. And the second will be Paul Cole. And so we'll be fitting them with their lanyards and honors there, and looking forward to that. As I said, it's been an honor to be elevated and asked to be standing in this position. One of the other things we have is the scholarship, and I don't know, a lot of you probably have them, but one of the 2 scholarships we give, one is called the WD Farmer, and then we have one for just the college. And the WD Farmer one is going to be awarded to Jamie Avalo, a student that Bernie knows quite well and can speak to in depth. If you want to say anything about Jamie.
Thank you, John. Yeah, Jimmy, actually. Jamie is Jimmy's father's name,
Okay.
and he uses his dad's email address, so that's probably where he got that from. Jimmy is very young, responsible guy. I met him at a chapter meeting that we had. He showed up and he said he signed up as a student member, and he's really working hard at trying to build his credentials. Those are from his words. And he's going to school. He's got about 1.5 years left of school, a tech school in Denver. And he also works on a construction site in the evenings and on weekends. And he's really trying to build up not just his credentials as a designer, but also he says, I want to take the certification test. So I'm helping him with that and coaching him through that. Very responsible young man. I've learned that from him over the past several months, and I highly recommend him for the scholarship.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our scholarship helps to augment some of the costs, of course, that are involved in the education. And we have one for any of the relatives of NCBDC members, certified members. And we have the other one that we can help with just about anybody that needs college help, like Jamie. So if you know of anyone, or you encounter someone who needs or could use this, have them apply. It's online and it can be filled out. So that's a part of what the college reviews. We can hand out several scholarships each year. This year we only wound up handing out one. Anyway, lastly, I will be this will be my first and last year as chancellor, and so I'm stepping down, retiring, and I have asked Sam to step in and follow me. So he will be being inducted and given the chancellorship on Saturday night as well. And that's pretty much our report up to this point. Those of you who have questions about the college, the application for nominations is also online as part of the AIBD.org, which Bernie found and filled out. So if you know someone who you would like to recommend, you'd like to nominate, The application is there and it outlines everything you need to do as far as getting the information to us for us to be able to evaluate. So it's been a great tool for us to be able to have that online, and it's sped up the process quite a bit as far as getting the information. Then we have a 3-person jury look at those, review it, yay or nay, and then they report back to us. But we have it. I think I think the cutoff is what, February? Something like that. Anyway, cutoff is in February, and then we get to work on reviewing the process. But as soon as we can get it done, we have to report back to them so we can notify these individuals to be able to show up at this time of function. Anyway, that's my report. Thank you very much. I appreciated having the opportunity to serve in this capacity.
John, we thank you for everything you did with all. Oh, next up, conference committee, which we're here. Report, President Brandon Clokey.
I know, you're seeing me way too much, actually. I get this. Okay. Hey, it didn't work last time I was up here, too. Oh, I'll keep reading my notes. So immediately following the 2025 Design Build Conference in Asheville, I accepted the role as conference committee chair. While I brought years of event planning and conference management experience to the position, assuming the leadership at the conclusion of the conference meant preparations for the next began immediately, and they did. Our first priority was ensuring the financial success of the Asheville conference. Working closely with our executive director, we finalized all the final financial obligations and carefully monitored the expenses to ensure the Institute would not once again end an event in the red. While I am pleased to report that Asheville, well, okay, so the numbers in here have been adjusted slightly since I had posted this, but ultimately, as Steve had said earlier, we had been losing significant amount of money on conferences, and first and foremost, that was my priority as chair to make sure that we understood what we were budgeting for. So throughout the fall, the committee reviewed and restored the use of the conference master budget, realigned sponsorship and exhibitor pricing to better reflect our long-term agreements, and excuse me, and evaluated every aspect of the conference experience. After considerable discussion, we made the decision to return to the 4-day conference format. Although this required additional planning and investment, we believe that the added educational opportunities, networking, and membership engagement would provide a tremendous value and help restore many of the traditions that our members have long appreciated. By December and January, registration, pricing, gala tickets, and nearly all of the education sessions had been secured, creating a foundation needed to launch our registration. Entering the spring, we were positioned well in advance of where the committee had been in recent conference cycles, allowing us to focus our attention on enhancing the overall attendee experience rather than simply meeting deadlines. The months that followed were dedicated to creating a conference that would be memorable in every respect, from selecting the unique Compass Club Compass Club. See, this is proof that I've been up here too long. Compass Club venue, which I hope all of you enjoyed last night. And planning our networking events and organizing architectural tours, the gala, and the educational programming. The committee focused on showcasing not only what the profession of residential design, but also the remarkable architecture and hospitality that Cleveland has to offer. One tradition that we were especially proud to revive was the By Design box provided to every attendee. And if you haven't got this, there are ones out on the table, so please grab it. At no cost to the membership or the conference budget. Through the generosity of our sponsors and partners, each box includes conference resources, promotional materials, a Destination Cleveland Visitors Guide, which when it comes to Dine Around Cleveland, I hope that you see, and a small token of appreciation from our conference committee. We hope it serves both as a practical resource during the conference and a memorable keepsake long after you return home. Design Build Cleveland is the result of hundreds of volunteer hours, countless meetings, phone calls, site visits, contract reviews, design revisions, sponsor coordination, menu selections, logistical planning, and the assembly of every by design box, which my son was voluntold that he was helping. Every detail reflects the dedication of the volunteers who care deeply about creating an exceptional experience for our members. I would also like to recognize the extraordinary partnership of the OKI chapter, whose $4,000 contribution, exceeding even our highest sponsorship level, demonstrates an exceptional commitment to the success of our national conference. Their generosity serves as an outstanding example of what can be accomplished when chapters invest in the success of the Institute as a whole. I would also like to recognize Lauren Gibbons for creating the supplemental Cleveland Visitor website, an outstanding resource that allowed attendees to explore the city and maximize their time before even landing here. So Lauren, thank you for that. Looking ahead, the committee has already begun planning for 2027. One of the most significant improvements, hopefully, will be distributing sponsorship and exhibitor opportunities during the first week of September rather than later in the planning cycle. The reason for this is many corporate partners establish their annual marketing and sponsorship budgets and schedules during the months of September and October. And by engaging them earlier, we believe that AIBD will be positioned to secure more additional sponsors and strengthen long-term partnerships and negotiate from a position of greater preparation. As I conclude this report, I want to express my sincere appreciation to every member of the conference committee. Their commitment has been nothing short of extraordinary. While many committees meet once a month, this team consistently met twice a month, dedicating countless additional hours in between meetings to ensure that every detail was addressed. Their professionalism, their creativity, and their unwavering willingness to serve has been instrumental in every success as we celebrate this week. It has been my privilege to serve alongside this remarkable group of volunteers. Together, I believe that we have strengthened the conference planning experience, established a more sustainable path, and have created a conference that reflects the excellence and professionalism of the American Institute of Building Design. So on behalf of the OKI chapter, in case I haven't said it before, welcome to Cleveland.
Thank you, Brandon, for that report. And next we go to Dennis Fletcher. Are you on, Dennis?
Yes, I'm on, Ted.
Take it away.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, sir.
All right. So this year I want to, first, before I read the report, I want to thank Kim Hudson and Jeff Fry for consistently showing up and helping with the committee. It has been an amazing year. And hopefully the first presentation of this thing, you'll find out why. Committee's been busy this year working on ways to help members with educational opportunities, which is what we do. We've worked in the background trying to get folks to do webinars, trying to identify what educational information members want. We're not perfect, and we haven't been great at it, but we are trying. One of our projects this year, though, was the business in a box. This concept, which the presentation is going to be done, you're going to find out how it's going to help our members and how our members will be essential in its creation and continued progress, success. This next year, we'll be focusing on how to take this concept further. We're going to redevelop it. We're going to not fix it. We're going to extend it with other things similar to it that touch designers and drafters who are part of our organization, or maybe not. Maybe they're part of a firm. That's our goal, is to keep bringing this out, to keep pushing people to go on the webinars and create content that will help each member. We're going to use the same concept to get back to basics and help our members with their drafting education, their designing education, and how to be a better designer in every way. This will take considerable member participation. Let me say that one more time. This will take considerable member participation, but should result in benefits to our members for years to come. This will be my 3rd year as committee chair, so I will consider stepping down from that position at the end of this year. However, finding someone to carry the mantle will be required first. I will say that I am in no hurry to step down. I enjoy the committee. I love what we're doing, and I love being the chairman of the committee. However, I do understand that being in a position like that, sometimes you can get burned out, and I don't want to be that way. So if I get somebody this year who can come in and be a part of that and who wants to take the mantle for a couple of years, I will gladly step down, hand the reins over, and participate in as a member. That is my report, and thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. Steve, what am I hitting here? What am I hitting here? I need to watch you. Everything. Control and tap. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Dennis. Next report. Mr. Larry Walker. Just scroll up if you get down. You're alive. Brandon taps it.
Right. All right, well, as your favorite board member up here, I'm assisting. But, you know, as you kind of read through this, it's real short. Basically, I've said all this already. We had a good financial year, I think. We started last year was rough. We were negative. We owed money. We were carrying debt, so on and so forth. We corrected most of that this year. You got to start over. You got to start all over. Okay. All right. Can you hear me okay? All right. Pretty much we've corrected that this year. You know, as treasurer for many years and finance chairman, and the engineer in me also comes out. I'm very detailed. I start looking at, you know, why are we where we are? So then I start looking for reasons of why we're where we are. My ANSI comment earlier is one of the reasons. I'm not saying it was a bad idea, a bad thing. I mean, hindsight's 20/20 in everything we do, you know. It's just like, you know, when you call a 4th down play, if it works, you're a hero. If you don't, you got a problem, you know. So had that gone through first time, I may have a different outlook on it. But just the cost of it and what we were doing, I'm looking at finances. I'm looking at what it cost us, how to go forward with it. I know us as a board voted not to go forward with it right now because mainly of money. So it's not that I'm 100% against it. It's that I'm looking at it from a finance standpoint. You know, if we don't change something, then we don't change. Our finances don't change. We still operate in the negative, so on and so forth. So I know for a fact with my challenges that I put out, which I'm going to put out another challenge this year. I'm going to get Steve to post another Cleveland challenge to see if we can raise some more money. But it's clear to me as the finance chairman that our bulk of our membership feels like we don't spend our money properly, or they would donate. I mean, we had a $50,000 goal. I appreciate everybody that donated, but we collected $4,000, okay, which is fantastic, but it's nowhere close to what, you know, if every member gave $25, what would that do, you know? But it's a message to me and to our board that they don't think it's worth it, and that's a problem. So as the board, you know, on the finance end of it, we need to identify why is that a problem? Why is everybody sitting here almost pissed off? Excuse my expression, but a lot of our members out there are that way, and I'm pretty straightforward speaking, as you well know. I'm not, and don't get me wrong, I love everybody in this room. I love the association. I've been a member since 1981. So I've been around for a while and I've seen a lot of bad. I've seen the whole organization collapse and get rebuilt. So I understand that we've got problems now, just like we've had problems before. I don't want us to go back down that road again. Okay. I can't stop it, but by myself, it takes everybody, and everybody in the room says that. I mean, we've got the people in this room that are really, really active, and you're the guys that can step up and if you see something from a finance standpoint or anything that we're not thinking of, let us know. Let me know and say, hey, what about this? What about that? And I know a lot of my ideas are not popular, but it's strictly coming from a, what did we spend our money on? How much did it cost? Did it work? Let's don't go down that road again unless we really have the money to do it and we really, see the value in doing it as an organization, because I'm for the organization. Just because I have a different view on one or two topics doesn't mean I'm not overall for the organization. I am. So, but I'm going to, like every member I hope does, express your views on what we can do and what we're doing wrong, maybe what we're doing right. I see some great effort, just like Jack's report, Dennis's report. I mean, those guys blow me away every year, to be honest with you, because of the hard work that they do in their committees. And it kind of makes me look at my committee and go, well, are we doing enough? What can we do? But you can only do so much. These made this comment, you can only do so much. You can put the ideas out there, but if everybody sits there and says, we don't want to change, well, there you go. That's why we're still sitting where we are. So you have to be willing to become active. You have to be willing to accept change. And if you've got a better idea what change is, the finance chair is open. It's not open. I'm technically there right now, but I'd be glad to give it to you. Treasurer is open. If you got, I'm not saying I'm sure somebody in this room can do it better than I can. So all that being said, I'm just looking for an answer. So anybody out there that's got some ideas or some answers, they can shoot anything our way would much, much be appreciated. But we are in the overall report here is that we're in a much better financial position this year than we've been in several years now. So hopefully that'll keep growing. I would like to see everybody, if you're financially able to, the donation challenge is about rebuilding the association. That's what we're trying to do. And I think we have to regain the confidence of our members, of all of our members. I mean, we talked about CPBD. I'm getting off subject a little bit, but we're talking about CPBDs, but we got, what was it, 300 or 400 CPBDs, I think 444, something like that. It means we got 600 active participation out. I mean, 600 members out there that are designers, that are making a living just like we are, that are not. And I'm for it. I mean, I've been registered since 1981, so I'm for it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking our CPD program. I want to see that continue. But at the same time, we also have, I think our membership is looking at us from a financial standpoint and saying, I don't see the value in paying you extra money for CPDD. Show me that value, and show me why I've got to do all these extra things in order to do that. And so that's all I'm saying about that. It's a finance type thing, because when I look at losing 70 members, 80 members, it's 100,000 a year. That's the way I look at it. And so, and those people are still making a living, doing exactly what we're doing. It's just that we chose to put some things in place that are keeping a lot of people from joining us, so to speak. So that's all I've got. I've said enough. I almost kicked myself out of the association, I think. So if you got any questions, feel free to ask, but otherwise, that's it.
Thank you.
Basically, I submitted a written report, but basically, a year ago when I took on the chairmanship of this committee, having been involved in AIBD for over 40 years, I thought I was well equipped to be able to handle bylaws and book of rules. But in looking into it, as Steve alluded earlier, many of the members of the board are single person companies, and we devote the time we have to these volunteer responsibilities. In this case, I think I just was not equipped to handle this committee. When you start looking into the bylaws and book of rules have not been updated in over a decade. And so obviously they're well overdue to being updated. It's a phenomenal task because you have to compare the bylaws to the book of rules, plus each committee has their own set of protocols. And all of these three things have to dovetail at some point. It's a big undertaking. I'm very happy that Jack Butler has volunteered to take on the chairmanship of this committee. I think he's very well equipped for it, and he's already shown a great interest in it. So I'll be happy to work with Jack on that committee. I think it's a committee that really requires more than one person. And I tried to do it by myself, but it's just a huge job. So I'm very happy that Jack's willing to take on that responsibility, and I'll give him all the support I can.
Thank you. Jack Butler, you with us?
Yes, sir.
There you go. Your report's next, sir.
I didn't have one. I talked about a lot of that in the Codes and Standards Committee. You know, it's very difficult to try to separate those aspects in that a lot of our code stuff is advocacy. We're talking to legislatures, you know, those types of things. I really have found it difficult to try to separate those, and so I would encourage us to moving forward to treat those really as a single thing. In fact, the business card I've got from AIBD lists only the one and calls it all of the stuff. It talks about legislative advocacy as well as codes and standards. So I think really we need to try to tie all that together officially with our next round of committee structures that we're going to put together for the 27 membership year.
Thank you, Jack. I remembered that part. Next is membership committee. Joey Martin, you with us? I don't think Joey's with us. I volunteered to take over for Joey, who's unable to attend even online today. Good morning, board. The membership committee, with the help from Raven, has been working on recruitment ideas to drive membership heading into the new fiscal year. This endeavor has been an uphill battle as the Compass Club stats bear out. In the past 5 reported years, our Compass Club numbers have gone down from recruiting at or near 100 new members to just 30 this past year. And I think the points don't necessarily reflect members. It depends. If there's a professional member, you earn 2 points. If it's an associate or student, it's 1 point. So the points are accurate, but it doesn't really, we didn't really come out to how many members they were recruited. So we've gone from 93 in 2021, 114 in 22, 76 in 23, down to 55 in 24, 47 in 25, and 30 in 26. The top recruiter in 25-26 is Dennis Fletcher. That's 3 years in a row. Congratulations, Dennis. There's a plaque that'll be in the mail. As you can see, it was a really close race. Only 2 points separated from first to third, and there were a number of people involved. Congratulations to Dennis on the highest number of new members recruited and the Western North Carolina chapter on being the chapter with the most new members recruited. So Oscar, are you still in the room? As I have said each year during my committee chairmanship, recruiting new members is a full-time job. The more members we get to recruit, a new member, the better. I ask the membership again this year to get out there and talk with those designers you know could benefit from the AIBD. Members helping members. This past year has seen this pet project of mine grow from just an idea to being a continuing education provider on AIBD's website. Multiple members have been able to sit in and take advantage of my live webinars, and even more members are viewing the CE classes and taking advantage of the content I shared to help them navigate Chief Architect. I urge our members to jump on board and help a member when those of us with knowledge to share get out there and share it and become a better organization. I know we had at least 2 other members that provided webinars throughout the year, but if you have a topic that you want to share, AIBD.org/webinars is our webinars page. It has all of our live webinar schedules. It has all of our recorded webinars. It has replays of the chapter events that have recordings, but also at the top, there's a link to schedule a webinar. And that's your opportunity to choose a date. When you choose the date, there'll be a form to fill out the topic you want to talk on and a brief description of what you're going to teach, and we will schedule that. That's what members helping members is. And on Joey's behalf, I thank you. Joey. Oh, yep, I'm on. Next, NCBDC Council. So Bernie Kern. There it is.
Thank you. Okay, NCBDC annual report. I'll start off with council and committee update. The new NCBDC council has been formally created and approved. We now have a total of 14 council members, 7 returning members, and 7 newly elected members beginning their first year of service. We had 2 active committees this past year. Over the past year, the recertification committee. This is a committee that's helping the suspended AIB or CPBDs. It's chaired by Council Member Bruce Yancey, has been one of our most active groups. At this time last year, the committee was assisting a huge amount of suspended certified members. Today, that number has been reduced considerably, a huge step forward if you consider the work involved in just trying to communicate with one suspended member. The committee's goal for the coming year is to continue to help suspended CPBDs even more with easy access to education programs, provide advice, and mentor those who need help. If you experience any issues with your certification status, please contact our staff certification director, Rusty Hudnett, whose diligence and support have been instrumental in keeping the committee on track. Thank you. For the upcoming year, leadership of the committee will transition to Daniel Aponte, one of our newest council members. Daniel has been the most active participant in the recertification effort last year, and we are grateful for his willingness to serve as chair. The Outreach Committee also had a productive year, meeting monthly to develop strategies for increasing awareness of NCBDC certification and encouraging more residential designers to pursue it. One of the committee's key accomplishments was the creation of a short promotional video highlighting the benefits of becoming NCBDC certified. The video clearly communicates the professional advantages of certification, enhanced credibility, adherence to industry standards, and expanded opportunities for growth. This resource will support future outreach efforts and serve as an engaging introduction to the value of NCBDC certification. We extend our appreciation to Committee Chair Angel Silva and his team for their consistent work and creativity. Mr. Silva will continue as chair this year with more exciting projects already underway. For new committees for the coming year, with the new council in place, 2 additional committees have been activated: the Certification Exam Committee and the Certification Oversight Committee. These groups will help strengthen our internal processes and support the long-term goals of the Institute. All of our committees have been filled with leadership chairs from the council. Regarding ANSI accreditation status, this is a question I often get asked: what's going on with ANSI accreditation? And I hope that my report here echoes a little bit of what Larry was saying earlier. To responsibly pursue ANSI accreditation, AIBD must first ensure the certification program has the size, stability, and administrative capacity to sustain the requirements of an accredited body year after year. Reaching a stronger base of CPBDs will allow us to support the compliance, staffing, and process rigor that accreditation demands. Accreditation is not just a milestone. It is an operating model. Before we re-enter that process, we need the certification program to be large and stable enough to support ongoing compliance, recertification, and administrative oversight at the level accreditation requires. So at this point, we are not ready for that. I look forward to the coming year and representing the council, and also I'd like to thank a few people. So far as helping get our new council put together, I want to thank Catherine Joyner and Merle Hudson. They were very instrumental in helping us get some more people into our council just within the last 72 hours. And also I'd like to thank 2 members that are outgoing from the council. They've been longtime members and have really put our NCBDC council where it is today, and that would be John Fott. Thank you, John. And thank you to Bruce Yancey. I believe he was on. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. We're closing in on it. Nominating committee, Ben Table.
Well, we can kind of skip that because we've already done the induction.
We already did that. Resolutions committee.
Again, I have a written report here, but basically I want to explain that the Resolutions Committee in a perfect world would be the one committee that would never have anything to do. Unfortunately, we don't live in a perfect world, and occasionally disputes arise between members or between a member and someone outside the organization. The committee then has the responsibility to examine that dispute and determine ultimately if it affects the integrity of AIBD. That is our ultimate responsibility. We've had several resolutions that have been presented to us over the last few years. Some of them resolve themselves because as soon as they enter into a legal dispute, it's out of our hands. We have to table the resolution until that dispute is settled. Often by the time that's settled, they no longer want to pursue the resolution. We have in the last year had a couple of resolutions that were much more involved, and in one case we actually had to take action. The committee, the resolutions committee, has 3 options when it deals with a dispute. We have the power to censure a member, to terminate, or not terminate, but to suspend a membership for a period of time, or to terminate a membership. We did have one case where resolution was submitted after all the information was examined, and the committee looked into it, did a lot of research, background research. We found that the particular member was being disingenuous and submitted falsified information. So we had no choice but to terminate that membership. That's the first time I remember us having to do that in quite a number of years. But the bottom line is, it's a committee that ultimately protects the integrity of AIBD. So we want to be sure that our membership are all upholding that integrity, and that's our job.
Thank you, Lyle. Look, just pull. It's a magnet. Thank you. I think we're about, liaisons reports. Skills USA ran smoothly this year despite one self-imposed challenge. At orientation, I proposed switching from a traditional written test to an online format. While this created initial concern, we worked through the questions collaboratively and implemented the shift in mid-competition. In the end, nearly everyone appreciated the transition. Beyond streamlining testing, we introduced the AIBD Design Technician Level 1 exam, which awards a downloadable PDF certificate to students scoring 70% or higher. While only 6 competitors earned medals, this allowed over 60% of the attendees to leave with a tangible credential to support their future pursuits. For the first time ever, we achieved 100% attendance, welcoming all 65 high school and college competitors. With nearly 30 volunteer judges, managing the panel was a monumental task for Bernie Kern, who was facilitating the online event for the first time. Despite the logistical challenge, we submitted final scores to Skills USA just 15 minutes behind schedule. Next year, I plan to cap that to a number of 12 to 15. Yeah. And here's a photograph of our high school winners and our college winners. You can view their entries along with all other competitors at this website. I don't think it's been connected yet, but if you go to aibd.org/skillsusa, we have the links to 3 or 4 years worth of entries. If this one's not been uploaded to that website, it'll be there soon. Also, if you're interested, the high school winner, James, used Chief Architect, one of AIBD's corporate members. So I just wanted to add that in. Next year, Skills USA, the last week of June. We'll be asking for judges and on-site help. Watch for your emails. Thank you, Steve. I have helped judge Skills USA stuff. It's really incredible what these guys do. Jack, if you're there, did you have anything to say about the North American Deck and Rail Association?
No, that association dealt primarily with putting together code amendments, and so I've covered that already. It was a great opportunity to be able to work, especially with industry partners, the Wood Council, different organizations that they bring together. So that was a wonderful opportunity, but it won't be another opportunity really to work with them for a couple of years. So we're probably going to pull that off of the agenda for next year and then get back in that when the next code cycle really gets going.
Thank you, Jack. Did it. Single family home builders. I'm a member of the Single Family Home Builder Committee and the Custom Home Builder Committee for NAHB. The big worry for builders right now that I'm hearing is the switching to a 500-year floodplain, which will raise a lot of houses. Second thing is increasing of live and possibly dead loads, with the live loads anywhere from 3 to 5% increase. A larger size house, depending on where you're at, that's a lot of force. Both floors, wind, snow, all around. After that, for the good of the Institute, any items from the floor? None? Anybody online? Thank you. I just want to say I started my journey president in '96, certified in '97 in Jim Wright's office. Mike Battaglia gave me a shove to be Ohio Society president. And I'm so happy I took that shove. I just want to say thank you again for letting me be your president. That concludes our meeting. Does that conclude? Do I hit yet? Here you go. Here's the, yeah, well, thank
All
you.
right. We're only running like 18 minutes behind schedule. We only have 4 rules at AIBD when it comes to our education and our conference. Whenever it begins, it's the right time. Whoever's here's the right persons. Whatever we talk about is the right thing, and when it's over, it's over. So now it's time for lunch. We have a lunch presentation. We'll get that set up. I believe we'll be able to get back on schedule by 12:30. So enjoy your lunch. I'll see you back in here as quickly as you can get back in.